Hi everybody, I'm gonna make this video again. I made one yesterday about this hilarious blog post on Huffington Post, which I think might actually be a fake. And I don't know why I have this feeling, but I can't find anything about the contributor on here. In fact, today it was updated that it was deleted. The contributor was deleted. Um, and her name's Shelley Garland anyway, so I don't know why they're playing games about that. But look, this article is called "White Men in the Vote: Why We Took the Blog Down," and it says Huffington Post has removed the blog. Could it be time to deny the white men the franchise? We have done this because a blog submission from an individual who called herself Shelley Garland, who claimed to be an MA student at UCT, University of Cape Town, cannot be traced and appears not to exist. We have immediately bolstered and strengthened our blogging procedures that until now have operated on the basis of open communication and good faith. From now on, bloggers will have to verify themselves. In any case, this blog, I did have a video that I filmed. I didn't really I uploaded it, but I didn't post it yet about it, and I did run down all of the big points within it, and it was really one of the funniest pieces I've ever seen. And among the things that kind of got me wondering if this was really, if it was really for real, was first of all, you can't find anything by her or about her anywhere. If it is a woman, I'm assuming that it's a woman. And here I pulled up the article, and it said that among the reasons for denying white men the franchise means the right to vote, is that she claims that they were responsible for the United Kingdom leaving the EU, Donald Trump being elected, and this bizarre insertion of the Democratic Alliance being in control of the municipal governments in 4 of South Africa's biggest cities, which I think was like the red flag for me. If you're not familiar with South African politics, you do have to do a little research about it. The Democratic Alliance is actually a liberal party, and they're formed from among the top anti-apartheid groups from the apartheid era, including the Democratic Party, which was the South African Democratic Party, which was active against apartheid during the era of racial segregation in South Africa. If you don't know the history, the main opposition group that was illegal was the African National Congress. They're currently the governing party of South Africa. The main apartheid party was the National Party, and I'll be doing another video later this week concerning a different topic related to apartheid. But you do have to address some of these issues. The issue with apartheid, the reason that Nelson Mandela was able to bring together all the people of South Africa was that he did not call for disenfranchising the Afrikaner population and the other white population, the British or the Portuguese. There's actually a lot of topics in South Africa that you could go into. Now the Afrikaners are the name of the community that they speak a Dutch dialect called Afrikaans in South Africa. There's British South Africans, there's Portuguese South Africans that left Angola and some of these other former Portuguese colonies in the 70s. So Mandela never called for disenfranchising them, but he was calling for one person, one vote. And why is it that Shelley Garland's article doesn't really make any sense, even though it's apparently a hoax now? It doesn't make any sense because apartheid was all about disenfranchising certain sectors of the population First and foremost, the black population did not get many voting rights. I think they did have some local voting rights, but it was basically worthless because the main decisions were made on the national level. What the South African government did was they divided South African government along racial lines. So the main parliament was the whites only parliament. Then they also had they had a tricameral parliament. There one house that was the whites only house. I'll pull it up. That was called the House of Assembly, and it was only for white people. That means the Afrikaners and the British South Africans and whoever was basically white. Then you had the House of Representatives, which was for coloreds. Now, what's a colored in South Africa? It's not the same thing as here. It used to be in the 50s and 60s. There were these. It was called. Black people were called coloreds in the United States. It's not the same thing in South Africa. A colored person in South Africa is a person of mixed race. Then you had the House of Delegates, which was only for Indian South Africans. And what it really was a joke, because the only house that mattered was the House of Assembly. There was no power for these other two houses. First of all, they couldn't get to executive positions. It was basically like they were used as rubber stamps for whatever it was that the main government, the executive branch, the president of South Africa would need. And that's what Nelson Mandela was campaigning against. First of all, that black people could have positions in government and have a vote at all. That's number one. The second problem was that all votes had to count equally. And this article I think really is a hoax, and I was validated. Yesterday I did record a video, and I started to think that it was a hoax. And I think it is one because you can just read through here. It says the influence of reckless white males were one of the primary reasons that led to the Great Recession, which began in 2008. This would also strike a blow against toxic white masculinity, one that is too long needed. This, first of all, it's not well written in any case, and there's all these errors in it where she goes back between South Africa and the United States. She makes a reference to Dylan Roof kind of randomly, but her attack on the Democratic Alliance is one of the more ridiculous ones. The Democratic Alliance is far from a party that's ruled by white males. In fact, if I pull it up here, they're actually dominated more by just people of all backgrounds, including their earlier leader was Helen Zille, who I think I'm pronouncing her name right. She was just a white woman. And their current leader is black. His name is Mmusi Maimane, and we're talking about an opposition party in South Africa. So basically, she's saying that opposition party that's headed by a black guy is basically a manifestation of white supremacy. It's not. Then you would have to say that the Democratic Party in America was, under Barack Obama, was a manifest. So then the Republicans are right that it's a white supremacist party? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of problems with the Democratic Party in America, but it's not a white supremacist party. I'm sorry to say, you can't accuse them of everything that's wrong. So I'm going to post an archive link to that article for you to read. I'm actually at my dad's house this week. I didn't really want to post that many videos because it's, first of all, I can't talk too loud over here, and I'm not gonna go buck wild at my dad's house, do whatever I want. I'm gonna be back home later this week, but read the article, and I'll post the new update where the Huffington Post thinks that this person might not even be a real person. And you know, what do you think? I really think this is a display of how dumb, how undependable they are. I think there's a couple of theories of why this person posted it. A, this was an alt-right person who tried to hack into the, you know, basically doing a hack of the Huffington Post. Um, this alt-right person was going to see how ridiculous of a post they could put on the HuffPo without getting, you know, screened. So that's a possibility. The other possibility is that the Huffington Post actually trolled. They decoyed themselves. They did some sort of what you would call a disinformation operation, in that they posted an article that was as ridiculous as possible, as unreasonable as they could make it, in order to draw out as many trolls as possible and then get all this reaction and call everybody else some sort of alt-right troll and racist and whatever, and get all the anti, you know, basically they wanted the clicks, they wanted the attention, and they wanted to be able to start to stir up the trouble. So the Huffington Post may have actually trolled itself. I don't know if that's, after this admission that it was untraceable, I don't know if that's true anymore, because it's hard to say. You know, whoever put it up, I think it really might have been some sort of way to wind everybody up, but who knows? I mean, there's a lot of idiots out there that would actually believe what this person says, and think that that's like a valid viewpoint. And what are you gonna say? They're not supposed to put it up? I don't know. Anyway, this is Ramon with Bold Like a Leopard. You can follow Bold Like a Leopard on Twitter at Chef Leopard. On Facebook also Chef Leopard, or just type in Bold Like a Leopard. And on VidMe, Chef Leopard. On YouTube, Bold Like a Leopard. And on Minds.com, probably a little later this month. I'm hoping I'll start to develop it. Maybe it might be on the back burner. There's a lot of work to do. I'll talk to you later, and you know, just have a great week. Whatever holiday you're celebrating this week, enjoy it with your family, and we'll talk to you later.